9 people you won't believe actually exist. Our strange, beautiful world is full of creatures who defy imagination. Some of them are human. Diversity is a part of what makes the human race, well, human. So let's take a look at some people it's hard to believe are real. Number 9. Woman walking her purebred. Computer. We'll start lightheartedly.
Oh, thank you.
With this woman who's apparently walking her PC down the street. Her bright pink jacket and shopping bag somehow complete the image, making it even more bizarre in its almost normalcy. I'm fairly sure this woman had an excellent reason in her own mind for dragging her computer down the street by its cord. However, that just makes her all the more striking. Thank you, computer walking lady, for making me feel that my neighbor who wraps her tree in aluminum foil has some kind of equally incomprehensible equivalent elsewhere in the world.
Thank you.
Number 8. Man planking tiger. Honestly, I find this one very difficult to believe. I still think it may be a fake, but it comes up in over a dozen places on a Google search, all of them seeming to indicate this could actually be legitimate. I just can't imagine what thought process would lead to this kind of photo, and I have to wonder if those tigers are high.
Whoa, man.
Number 7. The man who feels no cold. Now we'll get a little more serious and start with unusual physical traits. This, for example, is Wim Hof, a Dutch man who, for reasons unknown to doctors, can withstand freezing temperatures that could prove fatal to other human beings.
I can take it.
He has taken on many challenges and succeeded in them all, from swimming beneath the ice to climbing Mount Blanc while wearing shorts in frigid conditions. Not even the most Arctic temperatures seem to faze this man, and no one thus far has been able to medically explain it.
It's a mystery.
For obvious reasons, he has been dubbed the Iceman, and he is probably one of the closest humans there are to comic book superheroes. Many people find inspiration from his story, stating that he's an example of the inner fire within us all, if we could just learn to tap into it.
I'm gonna do it.
Number 6. Allergic to water. This is an Australian teenager with a serious allergy to water of any temperature. In medical terms, which always sound much more intimidating than everyday speech, she has
aquagenic urticaria.
The sweat her body naturally produces causes her to break out in hives in a painful allergic reaction. She's unable to enjoy a bubble bath after a stressful day or a hot shower after being caught in a storm. And for that matter, being caught in a storm would be particularly disastrous for her with her condition. Fortunately, this autoimmune reaction is limited to her skin. Ingesting water internally doesn't hurt her.
Oh, thank God.
If it did, it would amount to an allergy to being human, since we as a species are composed of about 80% water. In her case, however, any contact with water externally causes a painful rash. She's not the only one with this diagnosis, but there are only a few other known cases.
You poor thing.
Number 5. The man who retains no fat. Tom Stanisford is only one of 8 people in the world known to have myelodysplastic preleukemic syndrome.
Say it again. Say it again.
Myelodysplastic preleukemic syndrome. This is a rare metabolic disorder which prevents his body from retaining any fat beneath his skin whatsoever.
What?
Despite this, his body still maintains the belief that he is actually obese. As a result, he's also been diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. The complete lack of fat retention under the skin. The main reason Tom is so remarkable is that he's never let his rare condition stop him from accomplishing his goals. He's an avid bicyclist and won the title of British Paracycling Circuit Race Champion in the year 2011.
Go, Tom, go!
To surpass this achievement, his next goal is to win the Paralympic Circuit Race Championship in Rio next year. He has also studied and achieved a degree in French and law, and has a lovely girlfriend with whom he is pictured.
Aw, how cute.
Number 4. Oldest person with a parasitic twin. Rudy Santos of the Philippines is 69 years old. As such, he is the oldest human being still living with the physical effects of the ultra-rare condition Craniopagus parasiticus.
Yo!
This occurs in extremely few pregnancies in which twins are conceived, but one twin becomes absorbed by the other during gestation, resulting in the eventual birth of a single living child carrying the DNA of both twins. The twins' DNA, in Rudy's case, manifested itself by growing extra parts under Rudy's body, an extra pair each of legs and nipples, an extra arm, and a partially formed head with one ear, and its own hair.
What? What?
Rudy chose to make the most of his unusual condition and became a celebrity in his country as the main attraction of a freak show during the 1970s and 80s. People saw him as a kind of god, and he was reportedly very popular with women. He mysteriously disappeared for several years and lived in poverty. Eventually, he was seen by a surgeon who offered corrective surgery to remove the alien DNA. However, Rudy declined, having become fond of his parasitic twin.
How cute.
Number 3. The not quite 50-foot-tall woman. This gorgeous teenager from Brazil currently stands at nearly 7 feet tall.
That's how tall I am.
6 feet 9 inches to be exact. She has a rare form of gigantism, which is the result of a tumor on her pituitary gland, which is involved in the production of growth hormone. Since her late childhood, she has experienced sudden leaps in her height as a result of this rare condition. It's not surprising that she aspires to a modeling career. She is also engaged to marry her 22-year-old boyfriend, making history as the world's tallest bride.
Congrats.
Number 2. The human tree. Indonesia is home to this man, Dede Kaswara, who for most of his life has suffered from an extremely rare fungal infection.
Epidermodysplasia varicoformis.
These things always sound worse in Latin. The growths that result from this condition are large and hard, far more like tree bark than mushrooms. His entire body is affected by the condition, but the majority of the growths, as well as the largest and heaviest, are on his hands and feet.
What?
In 2008, Dede underwent surgery in the US, which resulted in the removal of 8 kilograms of fungal growth, as well as skin grafts. Unfortunately, the surgery did not prevent the resurgence of the condition. He had further operations in 2011, but there is no known cure for this infection.
Damn it.
Number 1. Extremely muscular man. This is Martin Kjellstrom, formerly a well-known figure throughout the European bodybuilding world. He participated and placed highly in many competitions all over the world. He states that he began his athletic career as a runner, but when he saw himself at 152 pounds, he turned to weightlifting and has never looked back. He weighs in now at close to 300 pounds.
That's like 8 tons.
However, Martin Kjellstrom's career has been ended with his arrest and conviction in a major drug bust by Swedish police, followed by a sentence of 3.5 years for international drug trafficking on a fairly grand scale.
Uh-oh.
He admits to doping himself every day and does not demonstrate remorse, having been quoted as saying it does not matter what he does with his body as long as it affects no one else. Anabolic steroid use and/or synthol injections are two popular doping methods among bodybuilders that create the illusion of muscle mass, but are in fact non-contributory to strength. We all have problems, some quite serious. Yet these unusual people have problems that are in many cases quite visible, bearing handicaps and inconveniences we cannot really imagine living with. They still manage to smile beautifully and to live their lives in the best ways they can.
How inspirational.